not something you can relax or rely on. Or I mean, I have friends, they growing up in their safe place with mom and dad, and they have protection, sometimes overprotection. That means their choice of trying something new. I mean, how you say, their drive to try something new, it's very low because they don't have to, because they're protected. So in my case, I just have to try. If I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. So it's not like it will be said there's no fear of losing, because in a sense, based on what the environments that, like, let's say I come from Germany. In Germany, environments like this, you grow up in a school. I mean, you grow up, and the school factor is they give you this protected, like the way how they teach you, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. It's all about you protected. So if you start thinking different, then they outcast you in a sense like, oh yeah, you're different, it doesn't work. So if you not follow this way, then you might gonna lose. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna lose anyway. So I still keep trying, you know. So right now we know. I mean, Elon Musk talks about it. He said he do not want to um, bring his kids in a typical school, so they don't learn anything. In I think in China or Asia, we talked last time about it. They have a kindergarten where the kids not really protected, because when you're young, you don't really break your arms, so they can run away, like they kind of run around where they want. They can fall from the second floor. They can experiment, and that's what I think gives us opportunity in those. I mean, in those spaces where we are, you have always how you call those people that take care of you. It's
like members of staff, supervisors.
Supervisors. So they supervise you, but they don't have this protection about, like, oh yeah, that's my kid now, I need to be super protective. They don't have that. I mean, in my case, I think I was 15 in this foster home. No, not the other one. The
Adoption or the children's home?
children home.
Yeah.
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 And the only thing what I have to do is build trust. And after that, I build trust. It's okay. You're not taking drugs. You don't drink. In a sense, drink crazy. You can come whatever you wish to come if I go out on the weekend. So as long as I'm good in school, actually I become very good in school after I was with them. And yeah, they're saying everything else is okay, so you can just do what you think it's okay. So sometimes I come back home at 3 o'clock in the morning because I was going out with my friends, but they know I don't do something bad. Some other kids there, for example, they start robberies or something. I was like, why I should do it? I just hang out with my friends. I get tired, I come back home. So they're like, okay, cool. So that's what I'm saying. So I learned pretty early, even within the community, you have to follow the community rules. And then you become pretty free, and you can experiment in a sense of trying different things without a ruler tells you you have to come home at 8 because we don't trust you. If you come too late, then we think there's something wrong, you know?
Got it.
So yeah, that's just the self-teaching about, and that's how I grew up. That's why I think I never worked for one company. They're saying like, I mean, I did internship, but I break it up after 2 years. In a sense, I finished it because it's the same way in German. Internship is like you're starting and then they put you in a system and they do not really want you to explore. They're more like you do this task, this task, this task, and then you finish, I give you another project. So it's pretty like you a slave in the machinery, and anything comes close to innovation, they don't like it. Because now we don't like something new, now it's not your department. So we don't want you innovate. We want you, it's a kind of state slavery, I would say, not in a way how we believe what slavery is, it's just a new way.
Yeah.
So you get your monthly salary, you start 7 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, 2 years, and then I mean, I was kind of a rebel there, because the first day I arrived, the Black Forest kind of, I see race as different, but in this way it was like, I see it as a joke, my experience. with me, I mean, racism is no joke, but my place,
Yeah.
I turned it into a joke. So the first day I started, they said, how I say Abteilungsleiter, it's the guy from one area. He is in charge of me, and he's like, "Oh, hey, can I call you nigger?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then in my mind's like, "Okay, you don't know me. No, I make jokes with you." So and then after 2 years, the boss came because I play the system. So I'm always try to be the best one, so they can kick me, but I also try to play everyone else. So scenario like, oh, if I put you in oven, because I did the internship for, it's like you're cutting wood just with plastic, so it's kind of Verfahrensmechanik is the German word for it, but I don't know. So you have big ovens, you put the plastic inside, plexiglass,
Yeah.
takes out the water, and it's a big oven, so the big supermarket chain came in this day to the company to buy for a few $1 million, like the order something. So I saw the boss walking around with a big supermarket chain, and one of the guy in this area said, he didn't saw them, was break, and then he said, "Hey, yo, if you put you in the oven, maybe you get darker." It's like, "Hey, let's try." So that's what I'm saying. So that's the innovation in my head. It's like, okay, now I fuck you. Then they came down. That I wasn't oven. And I remember when they came, I was like knocking, "Hey, it's very hot. I think I'm dark enough. Can you let me out?" They opened the door. The eyes from the boss, he was like shocked. The Aldi guys like, "Oh, I mean, Germany, we have this, we anti-Hitler, like we had Nazi Germany, so they're very anti." And they're like, "Oh my God, they put this black kid in the oven." So I was playing this victim. So they put me a victim, I play victim. Or they told me like, one time they tried to punish me. It's like, okay, so we have plastic, we have to make it very, it's like you use sandpaper, but we have another one with wax, and then it's rotating,
Yes.
and then you do this,
So
and then
you polish it.
polish it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do the whole day, and then the floor is this thick with wax. And now, of course, they want to punish me. And it's like, okay, now after work, you have to take off the wax. I was like, yeah, no problem. I had this big afro. So I went really down on the ground and did like a slave, like suffering, like slowly. And then the master came and he's standing there. It's like, how long you want to do this? I was like, oh, I have to make this clean. Maybe like 4, 5, 6 hours. I mean, the last one, he's like, get the fuck out of here. So that's why I say I try to put mirrors. Makes sense? So this is like, that's what I think about this because I don't like to get enslaved in a system by somebody try to put something on me. It's like, if you try, I gonna play you out. So it's just this scenario, yeah, and then yeah, more questions.
Yeah, got it. Love it,
So
man. Love it. Love it. You know, like that is really pertinent, right? Because, you know, how you play within the system
Yeah.
and then turn the system on itself.
Yeah,
right?
but not judging a person like you a bad person or you failure or
Yeah.
I mean humans this was thing based on their fear, they're very judgmental. And it's okay, but if it's turned into in chronicle, like you're judging nonstop because you just yourself in pain, then the system has you. So that's what I don't know, maybe it's the wrong term, but it's like mass manipulation.
Yeah.
So I make people sick so that keep it's not like consuming in all layers, like consuming here, and then I can sell, whatever in Facebook you can sell your marketing. So, but I try to, it's daily. Sometimes I'm into it's normal. I'm human, but I try to be outside of the box as much as possible. If you do this, then innovation comes.
Got it.
Because you play. I mean, innovation is just trying, right? So you're outside, you become a founder. I mean, for me, term founder is you're going around and pick up things and put them together and try them out. I mean, yeah, that's what I think that's come innovation from. So, but it starts with the mindset when you grow up, and if you overprotect it as a kid, then you never explore experience. You never discover experience.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yeah. Got
Yeah.
it, brother. And then those characteristics, right, that you developed from early, which are cracking me up, right? You know, to me, I can see how it aligns perfectly with blockchain and crypto, right? So maybe for people who are not watching, maybe explain how you came into that world and what attracted you to it.
I mean, crypto is a big world. I started 2018 with Mark. I don't think he's here. Oh, he's there. We I was sitting in. And the first time I touched crypto was 2010, sitting on a couch with my MacBook, and then somebody told me you should buy mine Bitcoin, and I logged me in on bitcoin.org, I think. Tried to download, it didn't work, and I was like, fuck, I don't know, fuck this shit. So, of course, everybody has this pizza story. For me, it was a minor story because I think in this time was pretty cheap, almost nothing to mine 10,000, but I know the moment, so that was the start. I didn't give a shit about it anymore. Then I did some activity in the black market on, where it was, Alpha Bay, and the other one, Silk Road.
Silk Road, yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't buy drugs or weapons or whatever. I just want to understand human mindset, so I went in and then had, different kind of dark web forums, talked to them, and then one guy, oh yeah, you should buy PayPal accounts or whatever. It's not illegal. You can have a stealth PayPal. So I was using Bitcoin a little bit, and Monero was very famous.
Monero, yeah.
And I did some transaction. I think I lost also like 4 or 5 Bitcoins because they get shut down. But I didn't do illegal activity in a sense. I was just exiting the market. And try to understand now about digital identity. So crypto for me is a bigger space. It's just not money. It's just more cryptographic technology, DLT, human mindset, community thinking. So I think crypto is if you use different names, very old. It's community. Anyway. So and then I went to the second time I interact with crypto was when I was in. So yeah. I was working on a torrent stuff with my friend's brother. He called me. He's like, hey, we should launch a website because I work already on something that we can stream torrent movies within the browser. And I said, yeah, sure. Then I came to Thailand I was in US. He called me. I flew from US to Thailand. That's because it's related. And then I worked on this. So he said, yeah, we should have this website where we can watch without downloading an app, torrent movies. Every movie available. I said, I don't know shit, but let's try. That's why I'm saying I don't know. So
outside the box.
He sat next to me and has the book and it talks about chunks and the framework. And I was like, okay. So I didn't understand. And that's what I do. I just sit there and listen. I understand maybe 1%. But what I learned is, personally for me, I start stocking information. I think the process is somewhere else, subconscious. You process things, and then you look different to the world. Means I picking up things, what is related to this topic, and then I was looking on different websites. I never was really using it, and then I was like, oh, so what a normal. This is cryptographic too. So what a normal. In early stages, when people watching illegal movies, what they did, they saved illegal movies usually on centralized data server, hostings, whatever. So they use something with one, and then they use also Google server. So if the report comes in from the lawyers saying, hey, this movie, because the IP is detract, then the movie gets removed, and then you lose the setup because you need always a server. So this doesn't work. So it's centralized because it's one server. So I realized, oh shit, so what gave this, the friend of mine told me is, wow, that's revolutionary, so nobody can actually delete any server. But then I did the research and I realized, wow, if we do this part in this way, maybe we make shitload of money, but then they research also more who we are, and one day they will get us. So I was like, okay, Gabe, I told my friends, like, yeah, we can make shitload of money, but yeah, maybe you have $1 billion, but later, first $1 billion or whatever, 100 million or 200, where I can spend it. So, so it doesn't matter how I get it. If I spend it somewhere, question will be asked. And then I start going in this decentralized world. That's what we talk about crypto. So I start like, oh, okay. And I realize, and I gave him my idea to do it in a legal way, means whatever you save, all the video gets now saved on YouTube, but you don't own it. So in torrent, you can use torrent for a decentralized database. I mean, file sharing. So you upload your own video, what you own, and everybody can watch it then through a direct link to your website. So, but you don't have to. How is it? You do not interacting with a centralized company. I mean, we know internet is owned by the biggest corporation, so it's your ownership shared by everyone else. Anyway, so while I'm working there, I realize that there's still a centralized aspect of him building the project, and I'm rely on him. And then, in the same time, he talked about decentralization, so cryptographic thinking. He was the opposite. So it was
He
interesting.
was centralized.
He was the most centralized person explaining me the decentralized things. And then
So he was explaining to you what he wanted to be, but wasn't.
he wasn't. No, I mean he locked his. He did whatever he wants. I sitting there every day, and working, and I was sometimes collapsing emotionally. It's like it's like we should do this now. We can do it, and then he disappeared for 1 week. Because so he's in control of the code, even
Centralized.
yeah, it's a because I know the origin of the code doesn't even come from his brother, so it's not just him. It's a community idea, but he's the coder, so he's centralized. So
Got it.
makes sense. So
Yeah.
anyway, it didn't work out. His brother always convinced me, 10% more, you're gonna do it. And then I was like, there was moments we almost fight. Moments he took my laptop, didn't came back for 1 week, shaking, come back home, and then whatever, it didn't work out. I left to Bangkok, and then we come to crypto. So I was sitting then there in Bangkok in a workspace, and everybody around me that was 2018, they start investing. I mean, the first bull run.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck they're doing? And then they're investing in any protocol, and this is the new blockchain. This is new blockchain. I didn't understand the deep layer of it, but I understand the consensus. So Bitcoin is proof of work, and then I investigated what's all about. So I don't want to go deeper there. So I start investigating, connecting it to, on a high layer, I would say to, I believe I figured out by what I'm doing, how the not reality works, but part understanding a lot more. Then I called this guy's brother, and then he came as well. So we start working on a protocol, I would say, on a high layer level. We start working with one of the largest currency at that time. IOTA was place 9, so we did use cases for them. But every time we did something there, it was kind of like, I mean, people in crypto, they have a lot of ego. I mean, you know, they think it's just like the same shit again, like they're thinking they know everything. I don't know anything, I just try. And we did use cases, we talked to them, same thing, they try to gatekeep us again. It's like, oh yeah, cool, you can work fast. It's like, no, we just want to work with everyone. So, and then we keep working for a year, and then we realize it's still somehow centralized in a way. I mean, besides Bitcoin, everything else is run by one person. I mean, Cardano is one guy, Vitalik is behind Ethereum, and then I mean Bitcoin. One guy tried to be, like, you understand? It's just like humans. I guess the self-centered humanity try to attach themselves there somewhere and makes so it's against centralized. And then, yeah, we dropped it in a sense. We left it for another, I think 2018 until, we left this crypto space for 2 years. I was focused on other stuff. In beginning of this year, I had this idea, or we had this idea to tokenize real estate. I saw it and it's like, oh, maybe we do another approach because they're further now. I mean, in a sense, what we wrote down in this time, it's still more advanced what is happening right now, but it's on a level we won't find people this easy. I mean, it's just a very hard market in crypto. Everybody thinks he knows, and then they're all charging crazy salary and whatever. It's just not easy to communicate in this space. And then I was approached from a local semi-lawyer. He said, okay, cool, you should, this tokenized stuff is cool. I have some friends in Jakarta, they're working with governments and they want to tokenize their bonds. I said, yeah, sure, I can do it. And then I meet these people, same shit. It's like, though, I mean, not, there's fine people, but it's just the incentive from them is just care about themselves. So this guy works for the richest family and they have a lot of money, but they can't cash out, so they want to tokenize their bonds. I'm neutral, but it's at one point I had a conversation with different investors and they're all like, they just want to do it for themselves to be, they don't have a mindset, the crypto mindset, they're just, oh, I need to do something there. Makes sense? So,
Yeah.
and I was like, fuck, and again, and then I was sitting in a hotel and then I was like, where is the best space to start? And then somehow I talked to my friend and he said, hey, I'm trading some shitcoins. It's fun. I was like, oh, I don't know. Shitcoins not, I mean, we was against shitcoins, like, there's no use case, but I didn't saw the use case in this time. And it's like, oh, just join some communities, talk to them. And in my head is always innovation. I have always nice ideas to help people. The first thing is really helping people, because as more I give, as more I get. It's like a universal law. Yeah, and then I went to some groups and I was like, hey guys, I have a cool idea how you can make more money. Boom. They're like, hey, cool, man. Hey, can we work? Like, they're very, because they have nothing to lose. Maybe they lost everything anyway. They're still there as addiction. And then it's a very, I mean, shitcoin for me, the utility of shitcoin is community. The community is insane. Like, I mean, we know Safe Moon, they're hardcore, but yeah, so I started teaching, not teaching, but I don't want to say teaching, guiding shitcoin communities with ideas, how to do things better, how to see difference in things, how to look different towards certain things. A lot of people calling me when they get rugged. And then I tell them, oh, you get rugged because of this. So I teach them how to read contracts. I teach them how to deploy contracts. I mean, we know, I try to, I learn from them because they ask me questions. I have to save this question in my head and then learning myself. So it's mutual teaching. It's not like I'm sitting there as a guru.
Yeah.
It's just like I learn how to read blockchain from my friend, because we sit there literally for like 4 months every day, 4 hours, knowing nothing, and it's like, hey, what this could be. So it's just like the drive, like keep doing.
You know, one of the things which I love about you, right, is that, you see, there's a lot of money in this whole industry, and I know you have friends who have a lot and have made a lot and all the rest of that. But what I like about you is that, as you said before, with the Thursday token workshop that you're doing here in Tropical Nomad, for example, it's about breaking down things to their constituent elements in a way that people can see how they're being played.
Exactly.
Right? Right?
Yes.
How you're being played. So then you get the power to say, well, look, if I'm being played like this, then I can step into my own driver's seat and play them use what they're doing, but succeed myself,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So you're enabling people to see, is it still on? Yep. Enabling people to see through the film of bullshit and see what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And then what I like about it is that you do not want to be a guru. And we had
Fuck
this
this.
conversation many times for the
Fuck
reason
this
why.
shit.
It's like, forget it. So you're never like, hey, give me your money, I'll do it for you.
No,
I don't.
no.
It's like, look, if you want to learn, if you want to put in the time,
Yeah.
I can guide you through it.
Yeah.
And I can show you, but I'm
Yeah.
not doing it for
No.
you. Right?
No.
And so, and it made me smile the first time we had this chat. I was like, okay, well, you're a bit different because, obviously I've interviewed quite a lot of blockchain guys and we know a lot of blockchain people. And I get as well what you mean about this, the idea of blockchain is decentralized. That's the idea, right?
Exactly.
But then all you keep on meeting are these centralized systems.
Yeah. This guy,
based around this guy, based
this
around that guy.
Yeah, he can do everything. He's the god of whatever. I mean, the marketing around crypto is sometimes, we sent Vitalik 100, whatever. I don't know. They send him like 500 million tokens to a centralized person. And that's the marketing aspect that the coin goes up because one figure. So, I mean, the outcome why the coin went up is because of community. So they don't believe in themselves. They believe in Vitalik. But Vitalik doesn't exist because of themselves. So people need to, that's what we said, people need to understand they're actually the power, not the person who the ideology, thinking, this
Ideological,
this mindset like, I pray to this guy. So you give this guy power, but he actually takes the power from you by you doing things for this person.
Yeah.
So and I want to empower, I want that people empower themselves.
Yes.
By me giving them incentive.
Yes.
It's very difficult sometimes because I get sometimes in a situation where a rich person tried to engineer a game, put a gun to my head and say, hey, if you're not here, I try to game you in a way, so I have to engineer another game to beat him. So I had of many times situation people try to fuck me because they know I'm leaving, and then I have to I have to engineer a game. So I use usually I read a lot of history about the Nazis and Hitler. I mean, I'm obvious not for him, but they had something, the German mentality of writing everything down. So if I but if I join a community, I make very sure I know everything about you, in case you try to, my experience, you try to use me.
Yeah.
And if I decide to go, then you try to play me. And that's happened so many times. They try to, because they're upset. I mean, the cash cow is gone. And then I have to make sure that nothing come after me. So it's not like I blackmail them in the sense of like going after them. It's like, hey, I have this, so be cool,
Yeah.
So, but this is the outcome. Like I mean, that's what the guru tried to achieve. Is what I do not try to achieve. Is let me alone, So that's why I told you. I in the way I want to. The only reason I join here is just because I trust you. But it's not my thing to talk. And be now. I mean, we do the workshop and with Ichi together, and then we had the best sessions now when we have no topics. We sit down and then they're all staring at each other. It's like ask some questions, and then the dynamic starting from random dude ask random questions, and the only thing what I do is keep the topic up, give people different visions, different direction, and boom. And then we have the best conversation. I mean, you was there last time, right?
That's right. That's right.
That's the thing in chaos lays the innovation.
Yeah.
Yeah, because why I should plan something because I think it's the best way to do things, I don't know. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. The swarm knows. The swarm needs to validate each other where the swarm stays at the moment. I don't know your life, I don't know your life, I don't know where you stand, so why I should know what to do, because I don't know you. I mean, we're not a couple. Even if we would be a couple sleeping in one bed, I still don't know you because
Yeah.
I don't know your past. So
Yeah.
it's just communication. So I try to have communication in a way that it's not lead by me, it's not dictate by me.
Got it. Got it. You know, and there's a fundamental beauty in that, right? Because, you know, at the moment, and, you know, we're not necessarily here to talk about, you know, like COVID and all the rest of
No,
that.
talk
You know,
about COVID, I don't.
yeah, but I know I can with you.
Yeah.
But this ability, which I still get the picture of you inside an oven,
Oh, which one? That's what. Yeah.
you know, like this ability to, you know, take what is being given to you,
And you have
the
to move it
box.
on.
Yes.
Move it on.
Yeah.
Instantly. Don't hold it.
Yeah.
Like my friend, we talked about staking mindset. The staking, like, imagine everybody would share everything. Now we have a problem because we have too much. I mean, I had a PlayStation. I told Ichi, it's like, hey, this PlayStation is my place. I never used it. Hey, use it. So even if the PlayStation get destroyed by usage, it's better it gets destroyed by sitting in my place and get start rusty. So it's this. If everybody, I mean, I'm not this hardcore. Everybody share. It's just like if everybody sharing and caring. That's what people don't understand. Sometimes I share and then the person doesn't care. He just trash it. So just we should move forward in sharing a little bit more because staking just makes you more sad, makes you more alone. It's common sense. I mean, let's see like this. I'm this guru guy. I get the most riches, and every single guru in life, I mean, as I know, Osho or whatever, they all have one issue. They have too much money, and they go crazy, and then somehow they die, and the entire fam is crazy too. And then they're all waking up from this dream. It's like, oh no, that wasn't me. That was just me in the past. I wasn't this. But they all went crazy because they're giving up their authenticity to one person who does everything. And this one person suffer too. I mean, that's why they start. I mean, all of them start abusing at some point because they're just bored. And we can't judge them in a sense. This is a bad person. I think it's just the outcome of being alone and get so many validation that you start becoming an abuser because you don't know anymore what's right and wrong. Make sense?
Got it.
Same thing, Mark Zuckerberg. Everybody talks shit about him, but he's in a position. If he say, "Hey, this is good," and everybody's like, "Oh, this is good," because he has the money. So somehow, who is he right now? I don't know. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This is you need to give up as much as possible. That's why I think remove me and I is a good concept.
Yeah.
So this Buddhism without. There's in Thailand, it's a Buddhism. I read a book about Buddhism, or there's a certain kind of Buddhism without the Buddha, where you go and pray. It's just about the concept of remove me and I, and then everything you can be. I mean, you can't be attacked at all. Like it's just like you're just doing, just do. And that's what I try to do. I mean, try to hustle, you know. So
Love it, man.
Yeah.
You know, but this, I wouldn't call it a gift because what it sounds like is that, look,
I mean, that's the next thing.
Yeah.
I think everybody is different, right?
Yeah.
So if somebody else is grown up like me, could be a monster. So it's a combination who you are. So remember, like we know childhood places. I mean, foster. What do you call it again?
children's home or orphanage.
Orphanage. Yeah. So I detecting all those kids there, and some of the kids have beautiful parents, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. They give them everything, like, and then the most crazy kids. So, and then there's some parents that are brutal abusive, and there's the awesome kid. So you can say that awesome parents make awesome kids. It's just, I think it's like school where you need to watch your kid, how your kid grow, and give it what it needs. Make
Yeah.
sense?
Yep.
So just be aware of kids. So in my case, I was just lucky, grow up crazy, because they said I have too much energy. So I was busy surviving. That was actually my gift. So what I went through I had a therapist. He tried to give me therapy based on the government. I mean, you too. We have
Yes.
therapists,
Yeah.
and he's sitting like, I don't even know what to tell you. I was like, yeah, just sit here. Let's talk. So we talk about us, about him, his life. Um, yeah, and that's interesting. Is I think I'm gifted based on the brutality how I grew up,
Yeah.
because I know another friend of mine, he grew up also in a foster place, and they're pretty abusive, and he has this. He believes everybody wants to do something
Yeah.
to him, so he's very like protective and has this automatically you have the staking mindset like me because
Yeah.
you want to take everything from me. But I grew up with nothing, so I was like, yeah, I can have nothing, no problem.
I'm still
And then
good.
yeah, and this next thing is like, think about this: you have everything, you're living in a nice house. Do it for 1 year, it get boring, right? So you need to have to do. You have to have the paradox.
Yeah.
So sometimes I mean, I visit my friend in Thailand. He has one room, or like one bedroom, and one. I sleep on the floor on a towel. It's like I don't give a shit. By sleeping there, I enjoy the bed. So, and I have some friends in Germany. He comes from very rich. Like he's number one in Germany. Like number one family. I mean, the number one. How you call it? The number one guys.
On the rich list or one?
Yeah, 1%. Sorry.
1%. Yeah.
So, and I had a long conversation with him, and I like him a lot because he said he's resetting him all the time. So he changed his insurance. He's always tried to ground himself. So let's say he come back to earth and say, I need to try different, and that's his own drive. So he's gifted, but he knows what to do in order to be happy. So yeah, there's this. I guess, yeah. My foster dad is he's a very guru type of guy. He's very manipulative, extremely. I saw a lot of crazy stuff. In a sense, he knows the answer, but he himself knowing the answer becomes the most narcissistic person, because he thinks he know all the answers. Means he don't give you a chance. So if you do a mistake, he's judging you instantly. It's like, oh, you're doing this wrong. Of course you do wrong, but it's okay. But he don't now needs to be this way.
Yeah.
So he becomes an autistic person. I'm watching him by growing up. It's like, oh, okay, this doesn't work out. So and same thing as what I said about this guy before. He know all the answers, but he's the opposite. So I learned to watch them, but I learned the answers, but not forcing people to follow only this rule, because I mean everybody has its own journey. So, and that's why I think we live here to have a journey. So I should respect your journey, even if I know you're doing a mistake. But it's okay. You should go. You will get better. You make sense? So
Yeah. Makes perfect sense.
compassion. Right?
Compassion.
Ah,
Yeah. Like the question that comes up is that this world that we're in right now,
Yeah.
in many ways, right, we're being moved into a certain direction,
Yeah.
mass, right? And the mindset, the gifts and the attributes that you have to not only understand the system
Yeah.
and how it's trying to impact or affect you,
Yeah.
but you also have the understanding of how to twist that
Yeah.
for a larger
There's something
purpose.
important to understand. Do not fight it. So there's this left and right, and that's what I always have. They ask, like, I grew up in the most racist area, and my good friends was Nazis. So I sit there, and he said, "Hey, every black person stinks except you." It's like, "Yeah, good. You know, and somebody else know from the TV." And I was like, "You're good, but now you need to think." So I do not, as long they don't attack me, I do not start running campaigns against him. I just reflecting, in a sense, like communication. So and there's one guy in US actually. He went to the Ku Klux Klan. It's a black guy.
Yeah.
And the lizard is whatever, how you call it, white lizard or something?
Yeah. What list?
Yeah. At the end, he was his best friend. And what's happened in his space was he turned so many of them into normal now. I mean,
Yeah.
what us consider as normal.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's right now this system where we are, of course, we know COVID, and then we have thinking, oh, agenda here, agenda there. For me, I'm thinking how if I don't like something, I do not go out and run my own agenda and say everything is shit. They want to get our, they want to cut our DNA or something. It's just keep it as opinion for me, have a conversation with both sides, and I make very sure people don't judge me based on my opinion because I do not judge them. And that's how you, so that's what I believe how you can survive in this. I mean, many people get depressed. It's like this global pressure of limitation. What I used to have, now I don't have it anymore, and that's what we said based on my past. I experience all the time, so I just engineer something new because it's infinity, always new answers, always new ways. So that's what I believe. Like I'm relaxing here now, knowing I cannot fly as I flew before, but it's okay for me. So that's what I'm saying. I can sleep on the floor right now, and in a sense, the metaphor way, I can sleep on the floor and be relaxed and just wait and watch and use the system for me. And this mental oppression of this energy, what's happening right now, it's based on fear, on a swarm intelligent fear. Means you can see it on Facebook, you see it in Instagram, whatever, social media. It's very, I mean, I work in my office upstairs. I have one guy, he works for the Danish, it's like in US, in UK Sun, the Sun, remember this trash paper?
Yeah, some.
Yeah, Sun. So he works for the Danish version,
Yeah.
and they deactivate comments.
Okay.
Yeah, because they start attacking each other.
Yeah.
So they're so busy
Attacking each other.
attacking each other. So
What's the point?
yeah, what's the point? This debate. I'm the fan of debate. Sit down, listen. Because maybe the Nazi has one point. What I should understand where he comes from. It's not a crazy person. It's just like he has different experience, and if he would listen, he might change his mind.
Yeah.
Make sense?
Yeah.
But I don't want to change his mind. So again, I don't try to. I bring a different ideology. It's just like, who are you? And I was like, who are you? I'm this person. And I think authenticity comes from reflecting to a mirror, communicating to a, not mirror, just reflecting within a community. With Mark, we talked before. Community is good for reflecting. In a sense, it should have maybe also different character in the community, so you know how you react to different things. Make sense?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So in Germany, I had always, as a different person in Germany, would always like, oh, I grew up there, hardcore. They did all this to me. I mean, I said it was fun because I turned into fun, and I fucked them maybe too by just making fun of them, but I learned how to deal with it.
Yeah.
We learned. I mean, you grew up there too, so you know how. Yeah, you know how to deal with it. But with a person who's overprotected, who doesn't understand how to deal with it, it rather goes to a new protection space. But a new protection space might not very experienced. The same thing, if we have to test. I mean, in order to take a drug, you need to test the drug, right? So the new system is a new untested space. So now they're moving to an untested space. I mean, Nazi Germany, when they're all going for Hitler or for the Nazi party, it's just an untested space. I think 90% of those people, they don't want to kill people. It's just an untested space. They went there and it's like, oh, he gives us this. But as soon they're in, they can't change. We talk about blockchain. Binance has 21 validator. If people realize that Binance is kind of centralized, they're like, but they cannot go off. Make sense?
Yeah.
So
Can't go back.
yeah, it's people have a hard time to change. As older you get, especially, I mean, a kid learn fast, right? Because the synapses are not really connected. I mean, you can it's interesting. You can go to you to Google and Google human brain synapses from childhood. In the beginning, it's not very connected. So as more it's connected, it's hard to change patterns. So that's why you can take DMT. DMT rewires your brain in a sense, or it's like compare you. You ski, you drive in
Yes.
ski, and if the piste,
Yeah.
the piste already set, you use pre-made lines.
Yeah.
So if
So powder or snow, you make your own. Yeah.
exactly, but make your own is like, risky. Maybe hit a
Yeah.
tree. I was hitting a tree one time. I went out from the. I think I went out. I was like, oh, cool, and then instantly directly to a tree.
One thing that comes up, right? And again, like there's a lot we have in common. So the nigger word, right?
Yeah.
So part of how I looked at that a different way is I looked at it like this, and it was so I don't remember how this happened.
Yeah.
If I really thought about it, I probably remember, but right now it's not there. But the thing which I do remember was that one day I sat down and I figured out. I said, you know what? Like, what is that word? So someone is blowing wind in my direction,
Yeah.
picked up by my eardrum,
Yeah.
right? Synthesized connection, a word is formed, a
Yeah.
sound is formed, boom. So far there's no problem. The word
Yeah.
is nigger. So far there's no problem. The problem comes when when that impulse goes into the library that we call a brain, and,
Trauma.
right? And
Yeah.
it picks out the file. So
Yeah.
the file named nigger.
Yeah.
Now I open that file. What's in there? Derogatory terms supposed to make me down, and then I react to that.
Exactly.
Not the wind, but
Not
the
the
word in
person,
the
exactly.
brain. So then I thought, you know what? If I can rewire it by doing this, if I can change the filing cabinet
Yeah.
or what it says inside my brain, then each time someone comes to me with that word, whatever new meaning I attach to that word and put into that filing
Exactly.
cabinet is triggered.
Yeah.
And what I did after that is that I was able to completely nullify that word
Exactly.
just by changing what was in here. And people, when they call you nigger, 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 and they're looking at you and they don't get the response, it's like, fuck, I didn't get the response.
Yeah, but
What now? And then after a while, what I would do is I'd ask them, I'd say, look, I get what you were trying to do.
But it doesn't work.
You know it doesn't work, right?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
But why were you trying to do it? And I'd ask them that, and and I'll be quiet, and I would listen, right? Now, not every one of them, but a lot of them were there, and they would, they were thinking about it. They were like, you know what, why am I? And again, I wasn't trying to change their mind.
Yeah.
But as you did earlier on, what happened for a lot of these people that I bumped into is that
you
their
mirror
mind was changed
Exactly. you
because of
mirror
what
them.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because most human are. Me too. Your language comes from somewhere, right? So we copycats. We copy everything. That's just who we are. We copy until whatever infinity. This is a copy of something. Microphone 1, 2, 3. So we are in this reality for copy things.
Yeah.
So for me, most time, if people saying bad things, for me, there's something more to it, and it's just copy from somebody else. So the original word of nigger is not the nigger comes out somewhere. As you said, it's just wind. So I do not react to this hardcore killer guy who kills a lot of black people because it's not this person. It's just copycat. He don't understand. Most time it's insecurity, not understanding. It's just a way to interact. So, yeah, I had a lot of friends that make black jokes all day long, and for me it was like, okay, I make the jokes too, but then there's nothing there. It's just empty for me. It's just like I don't attach myself to it, and I had it pretty easy in Germany. I could do everything. Like, I at the end I believed I had luxury because especially people they're more right. They're just looking to me like this, and they're waiting for something, but then they're like I become their favorite,
Yeah.
So I kind of abusing them. Not abusing, that's the wrong word. I'm kind of using the situation. Make sense?
Yeah.
It's for me just communication. It's like, oh, you communicate to me like this, okay. Same thing with COVID. For me, the COVID stuff or whatever shit is happening, it's just a communication at the moment for certain kind of people try to do certain things. Why, I don't know. I mean, there's different stories. I can go down and sit down every day and research, or I try to play the system and then beside research, because then I can escape it. So I just want to, I mean, be in a jail and escape. That's what I try to say. Make sense?
Yeah.
So the same thing in crypto is same time when some people like they get scammed for 10, 30 million. They're calling me to a group, 400 people. One guy lost, one guy is accused as a scammer because he was admin from the Telegram group. His wife has cancer. All this kind of stories. And at first, what everybody does is, oh, those admins all part of the scam.
Swarm mentality.
Swarm mentality. And it's like, hey, come, relax. Look first for evidence. Do police work. I mean, detective work. Before you accuse him for scammer, because I know how scammer thinks. It's like, if you're accusing first, you need to think as this person. Yeah. I mean, Freemason, Illuminati, McKinsey, they're all doing this kind of things. So we always say, oh, look at the bad guys. They're thinkers. They're thinking. So McKinsey is very big in data research. So they're doing research. They have, 100,000 employees that just do research every day. Freemason, they're just reading books nonstop. So usually people feel like, oh, look at them, but then I don't give a shit about them. Church, same thing. We talked about church. They have the biggest library, we believe, with books, because knowledge is power. Yeah. So for me, I just want to know more. Who are you? Oh, you're a nice person, or whatever. Who are you? And then I get more information. In crypto scams, it's like even if the scammer is still in the Telegram group, it's like, hey, we have this AMA call, we're talking, and then I say, hey, I know he's still there. And it's like, and for you, guy, it's going to be like this. I reading now blockchain on BitQuery. I find all your wallets with my brain, and what you think NSA right now is doing, or NSA, FBI, the Texas, they have a internet, for scam department. They have tools. They're doing this all day long. They just don't go out yet, because they're collecting information. So they're building literally whatever we believe when Facebook has this notification, right? You have a marketing, oh shit, I didn't touch the phone. It's just based on your patterns. On blockchain, it's your bank account, it's the same patterns. So how I read blockchain is by knowing how scammer thinks, by listening to them. So I'm not saying, fuck off, dude. It's like I sit down and say, who are you? In a sense, and understand the mindset. Yeah. And I don't judge. And it's like, hey, you scammed. This is your problem now, not mine. So you the scammer right now. And I told them, I had then explained them that what I'm doing right now, FBI is doing anyway. So you enjoy now $10 million on an island, and you get fucked later. And now we have news. 3 months. Oh, some Lithuanian guys. I know them because I detected them before. They get all caught in on a Spanish islands. They scammed $100 million. So that's what I'm saying is, it's even if I lose money. I lost one time $16,000 because Vietnam. This guy was from Vietnam and he scammed me $15,000. I was like, okay, I lost the money. I sit on the toilet. Should I cry now? Like, I cannot change it, right? I can find him. If he spent the money, should I rip him? What I should do? Yeah. So I learned quick. Fuck it, next one. And instantly I did whatever money I did after, because I do not eat his pain. By him scamming, it's fear and pain. I don't consume it. So if I become a victim, I stand up. That's what I'm saying. Losing is okay. This we know in trading. I don't trade, but people in crypto, they're like, oh, I get scammed again, bad scammer, and then they want to hunt him down for like 2-3 years. It's like, so you want to learn or what? And then most people are, yeah. And I have a lot of people, I teach them how to deploy contract, how to, I said before, like also how to understand, like you need to have a certain amount of, you need to understand certain kind of scam, and then becomes like, what's the Big Bang again? Singularity.
Singularity, yeah.
So in knowledge comes a singularity when you understand those patterns. So I don't need to know the no scam. I just need to know it's a pattern. So I can read out 99 plus scams
Yeah.
by just understand scam behavior by listening to scammers. You understand? Because people rejecting it. And it's like, I still watching, I mean, I was little, I read about, how many? 10,000 books or something. I read books every day, I read one book. A few books. So I read books about, Rome, Caesar time. I read books about Karl May.
Yes.
I read every Bible I can find. I read every book
Yeah.
because I want to understand how the human thinks.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't like snuff stuff, so I don't read in this murder things because I'm very sensitive.
Yeah.
So, but it's just like, understand other mindsets is important. And that's what I'm saying. So what I do, I don't know. I think I want to be maybe architect. Maybe because my friend is a famous architect, but last time we see his house, I was like, oh cool, I could change this, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't need to be the architect on paper. I just like put me in there. I learn, you know. I learn now project management tool. I'm building from scratch. Learn, look. That's what I think. This is.
Love it, man.
Sorry, next question.
Don't be sorry, you know, like, see, the thing is this, right? So I know the conversations I've had with you, and some of them are unfinished, but it don't have to be finished.
Actor.
But there you go, right? But the thing is this, right? So it's the vibe and feeling that I get from you, right? So sitting down with you now, having this chat, this conversation, it's making me smile because I'm connecting other things behind. You know, which some of the things are similar to me, similar background. Other things are very different. But it's a pleasure, man. You know, just to sit down and have this sort of conversation.
But same. To have this conversation with somebody like you, it's rare. So I need to. I always say like, questions are more important than answers.
Yeah.
People always going out for. I mean, the typical influencer goes out for answers, but actually it's opposite. You need questions, not answers. So that's why I'm saying, in order to have a lot of questions, in a way, you need to create a space those questions are poor. Make sense a little bit?
Yeah. Love it. And so here's a question, all right? And the answers flashing across my head, a possible answer. What does unity mean to you?
Unity?
Unity.
What is unity, actually?
Yeah.
Unity? What do you mean unity?
So I don't want to direct you too much, but you asked me, so I'll direct you a little bit more. So unity to me is about, you know, to me, unity is a huge answer, actually.
Yeah.
Which is...
united.
As human beings.
I think it's a sequence. So I think it's a little bit, he can explain it better. So think about this. You know waves, right?
Yeah.
So I think we need to be united, and then we need to be splitted, and we need to be united, splitted. So it's a sequence. So it shouldn't be always unity, because we also need to get out and reconnect with somebody saying on the other layer on something else. Make sense?
Love it.
So it's all a temporary state.
Yeah.
So that's called, so think about this. I always think about this. So we start connect, like we unite with family, and then we going our way, and then we come back.
Yeah.
We go back and then we die.
Yeah.
We sleep. I think both is important. What is the opposite?
Disunity.
Disunity, unity. Disunity to reconnect.
Yeah.
Because you need to collect information.
Yeah. You know, like, I wasn't expecting that answer.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. It's no, but it's really good, because actually it makes perfect sense. Like, you know what I mean? Because on that, you know, I'm a Unity fan, right?
Yeah.
But I have to acknowledge and agree And it's a brilliant example. You grow up for most people in a conventional family, right? And then you leave home or you leave school and you find your own experiences and then you learn your own journey,
and
as you
get
said
back.
before.
Exactly.
And then you come back and you're able to share from a different place. So I get it, and it makes perfect sense.
Remember puberty. Oh, fuck.
Puberty, yeah.
Puberty.
Yeah.
Puberty is a natural outcome. DNA?
DNA?
Memory?
Yeah.
So your body memory, I don't know how you call it, he knows it better. It makes yourself going away. You can't change it. It's just like you start rejecting your parents in some cases, even sometimes made no logic, but it's the natural drive to leave, collect and come back. Make sense? So it's still unity at the end, but the temporary state, which let's say we always united, always forever, right? Everything based on the perspective. But if we zoom down, it's a temporary state. So yes, united is a layer perspective.
Yeah.
So if we look on Earth, we all united, right? Why we still fighting? But it's the alien life form. Oh, they're all connected. If you zoom in, we're not. We connected with the end. Yes and no. Depends on the perspective.
There's a bunch of things that come up, and one of them is so as you mentioned, right? You have the macro view, the micro view.
Yeah.
So the macro view is that you're solid.
Yeah.
The micro view is you're space and dust, just like me, right? Okay. So
I do this, and then I already have skin in my hand.
Right? There you go. Now, here's the thing, right? So when I had this conversation with my partner, my girl, right? But anyway, it goes something like this. So when people say, the world is in a perfect state, it's in a perfect place. When people put their hands up and say, well, this is wrong, that is wrong, this is right, that is wrong, that is right, and they have this opinion. Okay. So what you were saying before about unity and disunity, so that wave, like a DNA wave, right? Like the way I've always seen it is that, and you spoke about Hitler before, and it upsets some people when I say this, but Hitler was necessary. And as Martin Luther King was necessary, as Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey. So all of these people were necessary as COVID is necessary now, right? And just to look at it from that perspective of unity, disunity, that's the reason why. Because, through going through these experiences, which are polarizing at best, but if they're polarizing if you get sucked into it, right? Then you're able to get the lesson and come back again into unity afterwards. So yes.
I mean, that's experience. And the Bible says, I don't believe Bible, but it's just like they're saying something is interesting, offering. If the priest goes down and does this to his back, it's like somebody has to suffer. And I believe all those very bad Nazi guys, they all suffer at the end. And then there's a movie, it's a Swedish movie, Adam's Apple. Somebody watch it maybe, I don't know. So you should watch Adam's Apple. It's a very interesting movie. There's this priest in this kind of church on the land inside the countryside, and he has to take in, and it's like a rehab space for different kind of criminals. So he had this Arab criminal, this terrorist, he has this Nazi guy, hardcore Nazi, that's Adam, and then a few other characters, crazy people. So, and they, the beginning of the scene is like the Nazi came, and of course he has his ideology, and then he goes and he meets the priest, has his way how to treat, and the priest is like, hey, nice to meet you. So he don't see him. But in the movie, at the end, it shows he has cancer, so certain things get blocked out. And also, it's I watched it like 10 times, I think. In the situations where the Nazi says, you don't see what I am. No, you Adam, you're a nice guy. And then he even the situation, he just beat him up. He beat up the priest, and the next day the priest is just normal, like beat up. And it's like, hey Adam, can you get the apple out of the tree? And then Adam looked at him like what the fuck is wrong with this guy? And then he hangs the Hitler picture on the wall, and then the priest said, oh, nice picture, who's this guy? He's like, is this what you said before? It's an awesome movie. He's staring at him. It's like, what the fuck do you think? Like, he's talking even in this way. He's so confused. The priest said, Adam, you should come to hospital. My nice friend is dying now because this is the old Nazi, like the worst one. And that's what we said about suffering. So this old Nazi, he did crazy stuff laying in his bed, and then Adam said, hey, how you feel? It's like, I'm dying. I did bad things. No, everything, you didn't do anything bad. Everything is okay. No, stop doing it. I did bad things. And then Adam was fresh there. He was very proud to see this person because he knows it's a big guy in the Hitler history. He's like, oh, blah, blah. But the guy said, I did bad things. Now I'm before God, and I cannot clean myself because I did it. So he died suffering. But the priest said to him, he gave him this, like, that he don't see it, you know. Watch the movie, it's very interesting. And Adam shot him in the head also, because he was so angry, he shot him in the head, and then he shot off the cancer actually. And then, but it's awesome. Anyway, but this kind of movies are very, it's important that we see it, you know. Yeah. It's just, knowledge makes you free. Yeah. And evil things, we talked about before, evil and how we can call it, that what we don't like, I don't like evil, but evil things happen. Why? Because how we could talk about good things. Like, the question is like, if I ask you, you would like to live in heaven forever? Then heaven becomes hell.
That's right. Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Let's say like this. I had a friend, he's a soccer manager, right? So he has 30 companies. And I told my friend, imagine everything is run by AI. Oh my God. And then I don't make, no, you get everything. So you get all the money, everything is run by AI. You want the Porsche in front of the door. And I say, I put you in a situation now. The moment if I did it, he gets so much fear. He's like, I don't know what to do in my life. I would kill myself because there's nothing. I'm addicted to. I mean, it's not addiction, but it's part of fear and pain to grow, right? So it's just the process part of it. Sometimes people stick in pain and then they're addicted to it. That calls chronicle. So you should learn how to understand pain and go through it, but understand to be on the other side as well. And then become authentic and see who you are, because from young you learn. Make sense?
Got it.
And then you become a state what you ever want to be in whatever world we live. It's the same thing. One time I was, we have always this beautiful rice field view, right? Oh, nice rice field, green, Uluwatu, sunset. I was living in Mungo, it's beautiful. And then my friend was next to me, and then she said, oh my God, beautiful. And it's like, now you look in the rice fields. So what's happened in the rice fields? It's just your perspective. Make sense?
Yep.
So whatever makes the rice field beautiful, something else is happening. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So look, guys, over here now, tonight, as I said to you, would be a very philosophical journey, and I think we've done that.
Yeah.
But this is who we are. Love it. Now, are there any questions?
Mark.
Yeah. So we got a question here, Steph.
Yes, I have two questions. So would be, when did you decide to leave Germany? Or when did you leave Germany? And when did you decide to leave Germany, basically? Like, when did that first pop up that you're like, okay, I don't want to stay in Germany? As you said, I was from Germany.
Yeah.
It's like you're like this little wheel in the system,
Yeah.
and that you like knew, okay, this is not where you see yourself. So it'd be
Yeah.
interesting to know like when that moment came, or like how you
So the
realized.
inhalation of this something is wrong is every Sunday I get depressed because it's boring. So Sunday there's nothing to do in Germany.
Yeah, everything's closed on Sunday.
Everything is closed on Sunday. You're laying there. It's like fuck. So I drive to my friend. Every friend tell me, hey, it's Sunday. Whether they're drunk or have a hangover because I'm active. So everything's dead. So
Especially in
I
Schwarzwald, probably.
yeah I couldn't handle myself there because it's just so boring. It's depressing. I was literally depressed Sundays. I drive something around and try to make a reason I drive there, but then I stand in the front of house doors. My friends like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, hey, let's do something. Like, dude, no, So, and this, it started there. Sundays, I get depressed in a sense of be bored, and then I was working. Everything what I did for work went successful, so I get bored of the money. But I should buy 2 TVs, 1 TV there. Should buy this. I had a nice car. And then I think what started happening, I think I had a rebellion inside me because I started doing bullshit stuff, like I driving all the time under alcohol, and then I get caught sometimes, and then they took my driver. I did some stupid shit until even the police stand in my door and they're saying, why you didn't pay your parking ticket from half year ago, €5? It makes no sense. I didn't open my post. I had like 30 letters. It's not. I had the money. I literally, she came. It's like usually I have to take you down to the car, to the box car. So in Friedrichshain they had this car. And I said, yeah, I have the money in the toilet. So in the toilet, when the toilet makes like this, I had like $6,000 just cash, and I give her the money. She's like, she's standing. She's like, what's the problem? It's like, I'm bored. so. So I start doing all this shit, like not paying my rent. It's just like this kind of rebellion. And yeah, even with women, and I start having whatever 5 relationships in a week sometimes. And then that's, of course, I hurt people by doing this. And then I'm sitting on the couch one day, and boom, it says, you need to leave. Yeah, they took my driver license too. And they took the car as well. So
I had my car taken as well.
yeah, no, but I paid the car, but
I
the
didn't pay
guy,
mine.
because I don't have credit score in Germany, because everything is black money. So in the German Finanzamt, the German IS, I found a loophole by not paying no tax, and they just give me a letter, pay €400. So I beat everything, so I get bored. And yeah, I sit on the couch. Something tell me you should leave the country now. Not by, I could stay there because you need new experience. It's like, that's the answer. I went to the wall. I had a big poster, and it's like, Jamaica. I called the airline, TUI airline. It's like, oh yeah, I want to fly somewhere for maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, Jamaica costs like whatever, €3,000. Where I should fly else? It's like, oh, Dominican Republic. It's like, it's in Africa. She's like, no, it's Caribbean. Then I didn't know. Literally 24 hours.
I'm Jamaican, you know that, right?
No.
I haven't lived there. So.
Yeah. And then I decided to leave the country within 2 hours. And next flight, I packed my bag. I didn't even have the right bag. It's like shitty old bag from my friend. He came home and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? It's like, yeah, I take vacation now. And he said, what? How this? It's like, yeah, I think I should take a vacation. So imagine I was living there, my company, everything is there. I had a partner. So I left and didn't came back for 2 years. For like, where I came back for 1 month. But then I left forever. And I just reset. So I moved to Dominican Republic, lived there for 5 years. and yeah, I start from zero. So I try to hustle. Means randomly I meet a guy here at the store, and it's like, hey, I can get computers from Germany. So we importing computers. I copy MediaMarkt in Germany. It's like a big electronics chain. So I copied their marketing. I posted on all the streets. So I did crazy stuff. I met Mark there too. We so we start one day. I start figured out how to import unlimited phones from US, and then I always have to unlock them. And it's like, wow, I pay for this key 50 cents. So this is how the chain reaction comes by me being active because I'm hyperactive. And then it's like, hey, Mark, hey, cool, should we make an unlock site as well? He's like, okay, let's try it. And I start selling unlock codes on eBay. I didn't even know how to get there. So it's just kind of things like I just do random, it's not stupid stuff, but I need this, I need this. I mean, every time I do a lot of money, I get kind of lost in this. The same thing I came to, okay, so the history is like 5 years DR. Then I moved to US for 1 year, I think. Lived in US for 1 year. And then I moved because of his brother, I randomly to Thailand. Another friend said, oh yeah, I work with a Chinese gambling company. You want to come help me make events? Yeah, sure, cool. I went to, so I always go for no experience. Like in DR, I didn't even know where to go. Like when I landed in DR, I couldn't speak Spanish. My English was horrible. I said to the taxi driver, hey dude, bring me somewhere. And he said, okay, I know where, come. And he put me in a street where prostitute was. So I was sitting in the street, sitting, chilling in a hostel, like run by a mafia guy, and met some football guy from America. So I start speaking English. I was like, I remember I watched South Park, so I can start speaking to him better in English. Get ripped off by some Dominicans because they're coming, like, hey, I take care of you, and then like, oh fuck. After
They
one,
did take care of you.
yeah. After 1 week, I moved to another area in Dominican Republic. I'm meeting random crazy people. Like we have many crazy stories. I mean, in the art we have stories like we're chilling in a hostel and then a neighbor starts shooting. So, I mean, I get hostage too. One time I was like, oh, I need to go Santo Domingo, the capital of DR. And then it's like, oh, Mark, you should come because maybe they try to rob me on the street, 5 o'clock in the morning. We walk down. I go in the car, in the taxi, like 4 guys, 2 women. Taxi sign, it's like, and then they're saying, ahora paga. It's like, okay. I get out the money, and then I had 1 clock here, 1 clock here. It's like, oh fuck, I get hostage now. 10 4. And then they start talking crazy, and I was like, oh fuck. He's like, close your eyes, close your eyes. I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, maybe I get shot now. And then I was like, okay, I had a nice life. And it's like, and then my brain said, maybe you should start crying because you're a tall guy. So if you start crying, maybe they consider you weak. So now I realized the guy next to me, they call him Commandante. So usually police does the shit with a. So I was like, okay, I counting his pulse now. It's like, oh, no more, I don't know. But I speak so much Spanish, I don't even know. And I made it happen that after 4 hours, they're driving around, try to get our stuff, our bank card, whatever. And they took everything what I had. They put out. They kicked us out in the mountains. They're confused why they kicked us out. Usually you get killed. And then they said, I asked him, hey, can you give me 100 pesos because I need to still take a taxi? Yeah, sure, here. And then he gave us 100 pesos so we can. So he said, now you go in the grass, do like this. So we do like this. 30 seconds later, I walked to the security. It's like, hey, can you bring us to the police? And the guy was like, what? So the police didn't believe us. The doctor makes no sense, but yeah. So we had always a situation in the like, I'm walking out of the club and then somebody else shoot another guy in the back in front of me and I was recording him. and then the police looking for me for like 1 week because I have the recording. So this kind of scenarios it's like we was actually attracting, right? So yeah, I guess it gives me, because in this age, yeah, it gives us a little bit wildlife. I mean, it's DR, you know, it's the wild west. I saw crazy stuff there. But what I learned there, that's why we said why I leave Germany. DR gives me this most experience I need in order to be independent, you know, because they can take you, they take you everything sometimes, and you have to really, how you communicate to people, that's important. I mean, I had an ex-girlfriend, she came, she's like, oh, we should drive here, you should drive here, we should drive here, we should drive here. It's like, hey, calm down, you need to understand those people. And then even she don't listen. One time she went to Puerto Plata, yeah, she get robbed with a handgun, like a deer gun. So it's like, what we learned there is be truly independent and deal with fear, like deal with somebody takes you something. And I always tell people, as you ask the question, get out of your comfort zone. You always win. It's just this thing like people hold, oh, I need to hold to this because I can lose. But why you doing, you're losing actually, because maybe that's around the corner is something else, you know. So for us, or for me, yeah, that was, I think, my answer. Pretty interesting 2010, because those, I mean, the trend is set, the digital nomad trend came 2012. I don't know, came somewhere around, because now it's cool. But if it becomes a trend, it's, again, it's a secure system. Trend is, if it's secure, to do it, because alone you don't want to do it. So yeah, I mean, I met him by some locals try to beat me up because I speak German. So when the Sanky Punky try to get the Germans, girls, they see me as a threat because I look at them, but I speak the same language. So one time they saved me. I didn't know, but they saved me in volleyball because the Dominicans start planning some beat up.
Get the German guy.
But then we became best friends. So it's just, but it's the thing, I never judged him. It's just like, we had one time a beating. I just had some tourists, we all in the group, and start beating each other. I mean, I'm defending myself. But again, at the end, we become best friends. Now I mean, we hang out one time drinking rum together. It's like, hey, Rubio, remember? He's like, oh, Mandito Aleman, blah, blah. So it's the Arvos experiment, you know.
I'm laughing because, as I mentioned before, like there's a few things we have in common, man. And I remember like those sort of experiences for me, just running around from probably about 18, 19, 20 for a couple of years, and just the way I saw life. So that later on I figured it out, sort of. It was like, people talk about having a purpose, right? Yep. And I worked at this thing I call the 3 pillars of purpose, right? And I'll go in reverse order. So reverse order, number 3, and none is better than the other. It's just ways to be, to stand in power, right? Yep. So the last one is being inspired to do something. So what it is that I'm not reacting to something. Literally, I'm on my bike, I'm going doing my thing, and this thought drops in of like, hey, boom, just drops in. When I'm doing something that's just not doing anything, but just my brain is quiet, drops in. And then I am available to do it, so I do it. I'm available to do it. I have the skills to do it. I have the aptitude to do it. I know I can do it, so I do it. Yeah. That's the third. The second one is responding to something. So often, right? So for me to work with kids was definitely, and it's still there, right? Part of my purpose, because it was like, well, I managed to find my way through. Many people didn't. So by working with kids which are underprivileged and showing them, hey, it's not about where you're from, it's about where you want to go that's important, and this is how to do it, right? So that became, but that was me reacting to something that happened in my life. So the third one is being inspired or pulled towards something, and the second one is being pushed by something. The first one is having no purpose, right? And this is what you're talking about, and this is why I'm laughing, right? So literally, during this 2-year period, 3 years, probably even longer actually, all the only thing in my mind was like, I'm just gonna do it, everything and say yes to everything, and many things happen. Yeah.
I made a big producer from Canada. He came also to Bali, and we had a conversation on a house party. And then he said, sometimes I turn off my phone and just walking towards one direction in Bali. And he said, by not planning, you make the most incredible things. And that's what I tell my girlfriend always. She's saying, oh, why you don't charge for people? And he's like, I just do it. It comes around anyway. So it's this, just keep trying without having a plan. I had a conversation with a guy. He works for German governments now. Like he's supposed to, like in the politic systems, always you breeding something new, right? To keep up to your own old system, and he's there too. And then, but has a more. I mean, he's a young guy, so he has a different mindset. And he said, "How you reach a goal?" I was like, I'm not. I set a goal, but I don't have a roadmap. I mean, I don't plan the milestones within a roadmap. I'm just going. Because if I go like this, I don't see things, right? So it's like, oh, this is my goal. I need to reach this. I know that I want to get there, but it's a sphere. So there means outside of the circle. So I can go everywhere here. If I reach the goal here, it's the same goal as everywhere else because it's a sphere. Make sense? It's not a point in a sphere. It's not one color. I can go out here too. I'm still outside. So, and that's the definition. Makes it a sphere. You can go everywhere there. There's so many.
Same place.
Yeah, it's the same place outside. So, I do know what I want to have in my future, but I do not get anxiety by losing one moment because I didn't reach the milestone.
Got it.
And that's the old system is always this. The old milestone system is always to protect something what you might lose. That's why a lot of new project managements that we just talked about today, the task itself, because let's say like this, if I ask you, let's do this project, right? And then right now, write down all the tasks. You write all the tasks based on what you are thinking right now. You set the timestamp in the project, not in a task. And I tell you, next day you realize, oh fuck, I forget this. So now everybody judging you because you don't reach the milestone a certain time. It's a blame. So now some projects now they have this interactive roadmap. In a sense, they're just saying we do something. You can see what we do, but there's always change based on interaction from outside.
Got it.
Because maybe there's something later, it can go longer or shorter, but as long you commit 100%. So I always commit 100% to my environment to do something. But I can't tell you, whoa, tomorrow the project is finished. So just learn. I just learn every minute what I try to, even right now I learn. It's like, okay, how I answer the questions, you know?
Got it. I got it. Love it, brother. Now, there was one more question, I think. Was there one other question? No, Stephanie, you got yours. So there's one more. No, we're good.
Mark?
All right. Mark is like, hey, listen, man, I live this shit. I don't want to ask any questions. I already know the answers. Oh, I love it. Oh, you're good? Yeah, I was thinking about putting you on the spot, but you look so comfortable there. It's like, no, man, look at the beautiful smile. Leave it. We're good. We're happy. All right. So question in my head, very broad question as usual. Like, so what kind of future would you like to see?
From who?
Open question, brother. What kind of future would you like to see?
I would like if we get united for now as a temporary state. So because I want to start, I don't want to be too old to travel to a different star. So I hope I don't want to be. I'm not too old to travel to a different planet. That's it's only possible if we unite because knowledge comes from everyone. If you don't connect, there's no involvement in knowledge, so we're very slow. AI works only if, I mean, we know about AI, it works when it has its most data. So the same thing with, so we should, the future of humanity, we should communicate more.
Got it.
The way also of communicating, not judging, not, yeah, I hope we getting together in small communities within a bigger community and exchange. For me personally, I want to learn more, so I need to know more people. For me personally, this is one thing I want to do, and then I want to start digging around Earth. Like I want to buy a submarine and go deep in ocean and try to figure maybe I can find stuff there. Yeah.
You know, like this has been the most. So this is 221, right? 221 episodes, 3 years, right?
You try to get me, huh?
It's funny. It's funny. We had one mutual friend, right? I won't tell you who it is unless you ask me later. No. And you know, she was saying, "Wow, you got him." I'm saying, like, "Yeah, it took a while," because here's the thing, you know, like this whole, even though today it was a technological huge challenge, because the way we usually do this, for won't go into reasons, but you know why already, we weren't able to do it that way. Yeah. So we went back to old school. So anyone who's watching at home, we got one camera, this one here, which I think is for Facebook Live. This camera here is for YouTube. And then this camera here is for Instagram Live. Now, usually we shoot with one camera. It gets uploaded to Restream, and it gets sent simultaneously to all of those different outlets, right, in multiple forms. We're not able to do that today. So I've got no idea if anyone here actually heard anything we did, except this microphone, which I keep pointing at him and me, is attached to YouTube Live. But next week, I'm sure we're going to be back to normal. But here's the thing, like every SpeakuP Monday has got its own vibe, its own feel, and it's exactly how it's supposed to be. So as you would have seen before, when we were going through these challenges, I wasn't really stressing out. I was like, you know what? This is how we're going this week. And even if it was just one, with just me and a phone, which is how I used to do it, with me holding the phone going, "Hey, so Neil, and what do you think about this? You know, and what do you think about that? You know, I still would have done it. And again, I even have no sense of time. I have no sense of time. I've got a feeling it's been a couple of hours, but I've got no sense of time. But I thoroughly enjoyed it, man. Like, and we will do more in time. But like, I think what I said in the beginning, like, you're an incredible person, man, and I love how you think, and I love what you stand for, and I love the way that you put yourself out there for people, not to be a guru, but to guide, but with the person empowering themselves, right?
Watch, guard, and guide.
Watch,
Guard, and guide.
watch, guard, and guide. Yeah.
Nothing more.
Yeah, I love it, man. It's such a great way to do it. And then finding all of these things we have in common. So you're telling a story, and I'm there cracking up laughing. It's like, well, that guy's so rude. It's like, no, I just made a connection about something completely different, and I can't hold it in. Yeah. So I'm just cracking up. It's got nothing to do with what you're talking about or word talking about in that moment. It's just what it reminded me of. And like I grew up, in a children's home. One of my best friends was a neo-Nazi. Just skinhead, neo-Nazi. Like, I don't think he really was supposed to be doing, or how he was supposed to be. Many years. And,
I mean, I have a funny story for me, but people would think it's horrible. So I was in Freiburg in Germany. It was a playground. I was like 6 years old. And then I was climbing on a construct, and then one girl said, "Hey, nigga, go down." I was like, "No, I stay." She's like, "You go down." As I stay. Then I saw her friends coming. They're kind of 10, 12 years old, and they start hunting me. So it's running, and I went to a river. I remember this, and then this guy came and he slipped and he fall in the water, and then I hold and help him. It's like, hey, I can help you out. So I help him out after he was beating me up. so I got beat up out. My parents like going crazy, and I go to police, and they're like, I'm fine. I have this picture. Why he falling? I try to help him out. They get confused first. They look at each other. It's like, what the fuck? They're like, let's beat him. So as long as I live, I mean, it's okay, you know.
It's that swarm mentality, right? Is there? And like, this is similar to this other guy. His name was Darren, who I grew up with in the same children's home. And it was like that. It was like, oh, but I like you, but I should hate you, right? You're the, oh, man.
Exactly.
And he would hang out with his friends and like, oh, yeah, those black people, those niggas.
Exactly.
And he would come up and go like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know.
I helped him. He looked at me, and his friends coming. And it's like, oh, now I have to beat him. So he started beating me. So because otherwise he looked bad.
Ruthless face.
And I
Yeah.
was like, okay, I'm gonna be Jesus now. And then, I mean,
Black Jesus, baby. Jesus was black, by the way.
yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's yeah. So the last one is some funny stuff in this internship where I did. There was a Russian guy, and then he hates me because he said, "Oh, you try to be smart, huh?" It's like I'm not trying to be smart, but I try to be innovative. So I talk in this way, and he hates it. So because the way then I talked to him in German was kind of he felt already I'm here, so he think I talk in a way that looked down on him, but he's my superior in the space. So he thought, okay, no problem. And then he started just taking a box of garbage, put it out there in the front of me. He's like, now you clean. It's like, no, I don't clean. And then I walked off, and then there's another guy. He started like argue like, oh, you should do it. And it's like, no, I'm not doing it. I start cutting my stuff. And then there's another guy. He always make elk like voices.
Yeah.
So he did, and I did elk voice too. So then in their head it's like chaos now, because first I obeyed order, and then I make noises in the workspace with another guy. But I can say he did it, I did it too. So it's they came at the end with with like a letter I have to sign. If I sign, I'm out.
Yeah.
It's like a law, because they cannot kick me.
Yeah.
So they bring like, can you write? It's like, no, I'm not doing it because I know my rights. And in the moment they get so angry, and on the New Year's party, the master,
Yeah, Meister, yeah.
he said, I need to tell you something. I was like, yeah. So when we had 10 kids to give the internship, all the other kids, they're not as good as you, so it gets kind of confused. But the picture of you as a black boy was kind of for them. So they had a big meeting with all the master in different section on one table, like 20 of them, and they all voted not for me because they're saying I don't fit there.
Yeah.
But then the master said, Frank is a nice guy. He said, but he was by far the best one. So, and he told me he was fighting for me to get me in. But he said, as soon you enter, I know you had no chance.
Yeah.
And I have to apologize what you go through. It was like, no, for me it's fun. Because it's fun for me. I mean, it's because I played him. Like I played every single character. I played him I played him out. They tried to put me in situation as the first year have to do hardcore stuff, like things you shouldn't do the first year. I did everything perfect. And while they're from the other master, he's the racist guy, the daughter fucked up everything. Like she's wasted sometimes a big plexiglass plate that cost like $2,000. She put a different program and the thing went into the table. And it's like, oh, she just put the thing in the table, and then everybody's like, oh, you shouldn't talk to like. I was like, yeah, but she destroyed the table, right? And it's like, no, shouldn't talk. She's the daughter of the second boss, you know. So it's. I just did the mirror things like hardcore. Enjoyed it. It's just like, but you understand. So
I do.
it's.
Yeah. You know what comes up even though we're about to finish. What the heck? Doesn't matter. No, man. Don't be sorry about anything. What has been the best piece of advice that you were ever given or you ever heard, and why?
Me to somebody? Or
That you heard or was given to you.
just do it. We know, what is the guy now, the actor?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Arnold.
Eh?
Arnie.
No, he's in YouTube. He has a YouTube. What is the actor? He played.
Terry?
No. He played.
Black guy?
He played in Transformer, the first transporter movie.
Statham, Jason Statham.
No. He played the young guy in Transporter. Oh, fuck. Transformer. Sorry.
Transformer, Mark Wahlberg.
No, that was his third one. Fuck. It's very important. What is the guy again? Yeah. Shia LaBeouf has a YouTube.
He
Yeah.
wasn't big.
No. He has a YouTube video. He just said,
Yeah.
just do it. Do it. Remember?
Yeah.
If-
Okay. Yeah, so Shia LaBeouf. Yeah.
Yeah, watch Shia LaBeouf, just do it.
Yeah.
And that's the only advice I would give. Just try. Do it. And he said, don't get, like he's screaming, and they put it in a musical.
Yeah.
So he's in a green wall, and then they have this big concert, and he's just saying, just do it. That's the only advice.
Got it, brother.
And it doesn't matter what.
Got it.
Because in a certain moment it makes click, and then you become something you try to do, you become it.
Got it.
It needs time.
And
Don't give up.
Don't give up.
That's what he said too.
Yeah.
Just do it. Don't give up.
So is there? So we're about to. This conversation will continue, right? But for on a different day. But is there anything else that you want to say? Anything else that's in your mind that you want to get out? So give you 30 seconds, right, to give you a little thought. So everyone is watching, and that's live studio audience. So remember, 6:30 every Monday here at Tropical Nomad. Thank you to the Tropical Nomad team. We've got Ayub behind the camera going to IG Live, who keeps on turning it with his hand. So smooth. And obviously Facebook Live over here, a different camera. Itchy's camera over here, which I think is YouTube Live. So thank you to the Tropical Nomad team for making it happen. Really appreciate it. And so much love for you guys here, really. And obviously, thank you to studio audience for coming. You can come. It is free, 6:30. Just come and join us. It's an indoor-outdoor room. It's good fun. And then obviously to those watching on the different platforms, if you're feeling something, maybe leave a comment, or if you want to get in touch with NNL, you can't. You have to come. You can't. We're not leaving any details. Don't even bother asking me. I know some of you will. There's one guy, Chris CW. I know he's going to ask me. It's like, nope, not going to give it to you. So for everything else, just remember, right? Whatever you've watched tonight, if there's one thing that maybe was surprising to you, or one thing that you thought, man, that's the thing, take it with you and take action. Just do it. Take action on that one thing, because again, if you don't take action with things that you hear and things that you acknowledge, then they just remain knowledge which hasn't been used, which is a bit of a waste. So if something here really grabbed you, go out and do it, right? That's the whole idea about doing these things on a Monday.
And it's okay to be a loser.
And it's okay to be a loser.
Yeah, I'm a loser all the time. Like, there's something last thing what I like. It's a very 1 minute.
Yeah. Long as you need.
So, I was little, and we talked about before, but I think it's very important to understand. I was little, and I liked girls. But then the girls I liked, they're like an idol. So it's in both sides, right? So you have your poster. In our time, we had poster. Now it's Instagram. So they like this, what is on the poster. So what the most guys did is they're pretending to be the guy on the poster. But the guy on the poster is actually not himself neither. So you can see Justin Bieber or John Lennon, we talked about before. They're themselves that stop thinking this is me. This is just not me. So I had this choices, the blue pill and the red pill, but I don't know which one I took. I asked my foster dads, like, hey, so should I be Tupac or whatever they think I am in this moment, or should be myself? Because I think myself, I wouldn't get those girls. And he said, if you want to grow and be, if you want to grow, literally grow. Just be yourself. It's gonna be a hard time, but um, that's how you grow. And I choose to be myself. And I was kind of a loser when I was little. Consider what is cool. So I'm in the movie. Have this kid who get bullied, but I'm always swinging them. So it's just like I was an outcast based on be myself. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, and I know a lot of people, they're suffering now because they played a different character their entire life, and now it's a time to become yourself. Otherwise, you going under in this madness what we have. And I know it's hard, but you need to start somewhere. So it's okay to be weak. Losing means weak. Um, get hurt. Yeah, and it's okay because you need to experience in order to get out. So my friend, last thing. My friend never slept with a girl, and he's 24, and he said, "Oh, this girl like me. I thinking about making kids," but I say, the next you have no experience about losing a woman, so and that's what happened a lot of time. People just be together because they might fear they're losing each other, become them, not them. Like, yeah, you need to learn how to deal with it. Be a loser is okay. I was always losing, and it's painful, but I mean, the outcome is you become yourself. So that's something very important, actually.
It links into what you said earlier on, which is basically about getting outside your comfort zone. Because by getting outside your comfort zone, invariably you will lose something. But the mindset is, I'm not losing, I'm learning.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
And by doing that, I'm constantly reinventing who I am.
Exactly.
Right? Got it.
Most people they become now whatever is influencer in any direction, because if they, let's say, a kind of therapist becomes, let's say you become a therapist in this section because you have pain in this direction, so you don't want to be alone, but then you become a professional because that's how you farm. So you farm validation within the circle of what you're suffering anyway. Make sense? So it's okay. That's why I'm saying it's a pandemic right now, because our media introduced us idols. I think it's since long generations like this, but it's intense right now. And I know when I was little, everybody was playing different character. They never changed. I have friends that calling me now and say, "Oh, I know, I get it. What you're saying. I can't get out of the system." As we said in Germany, a stick in the system. It's very hard for them. I mean, one guy has a high position in Spotify. They're like, "Fuck, man! Like, I wish I could leave my job." It's like, then leave your job. I don't know who I am after. You understand? He don't. It's like, what if? Like, he don't understand. To sit in Bali, have no job. His anxiety takes him, makes him this fear of losing. I mean, in Germany we have a lot of media. It's like, if you don't have a job, you will lose, right? There's nothing takes you in. It's yourself. So people don't believe in themselves. It's just like, it's very hard. That's why you always will survive. Even you, a regular job gives you always validation by give you monthly money, but it's actually, if you don't like it, it enslaves you actually. And as long as you do 100%, you never will lose. Yeah, just keep doing. Yeah, cool. Yeah, finish now. Yeah.
Ooh. Thank you, everybody. Round of applause for our man NL, my brother.
No more, huh?
No more till next time. There's going to be a next time, brother. Now, woo. All right. So we got a few lives to switch off. So wait for that one. Because we'll do the Instagram last, right? So we'll do this one first. Okay. So forgotten to do it. Hi everybody, thank you for watching. I'm gonna finish this up. Okay, so that one is ending my video. Alright, post now. What? Never do. All right. Now this guy here. Woo.